as I got into this content with Harvey, it doesn't really do him justice or right balance justice to go through everything he was talking about, everything he was describing. So I ask you to see if you could have a 1 gallon paint stick available, a Sharpie, a ballpoint pen, and if you don't have the paint stick, 2 yardsticks. Now, if you have the Sharpie, you'll see on the 1 gallon paint stick, I've marked the top with a Sharpie, just the top edge, not the sides. If you have the face clip, you're going to line that on the paint stick. However, what I would say is get used to using the paint stick without the clip, because you're going to give the paint stick to your students with the top edge marked. So please, as I'm talking here, if you have a Sharpie and you have the paint stick, mark the top edge. This is 1 gallon paint stick. And for your players with larger hands, this is the 5 gallon. Now, if you go to a Lowe's, or I'm presuming Home Depot also, you won't find yardsticks that are thin, the wooden yardsticks. These are from one of our websites of years past. So this is pretty thin. It's actually that's actually the same width as the metal stick. You can also use a metal yardstick for what we're going to be using. So I'm going to be using today just the paint stick. And I have 2 yardsticks down. If you have yardsticks down, I want you to mark 2 things. I want you to mark on the yardstick 12 inches, 19 inches, just mark them on the yardstick, and 24 inches. So 19 inches, or 12, 19, and 24. Now, all of us have heard when we're teaching or when we were being taught, get the heel pad on top, get the heel pad on top. Now, you'll notice today that I have marked both hands with, this is my upper core power spot on each hand. The black is right on my middle core power spot, and the blue is on my lower core power spot. Okay. Now, when you do what I'm about to show you, you can do it with tape. We have for years used these sleeves, and the sleeve has a rib on it right here. So I'm going to put this over my middle finger. I want to show you the last time we had a Zoom session, we talked about performance stance zones, where every player, every upper core player is going to have a stance width that they can play from. So I am going to go here. With my hip bar on. So if you attended the last session, so what I have now is I have the rib on my upper core power spot on both hands. And you'll notice that I've disrupted my core today. You'll notice when I stand here at some about 6.5 inches, my hips are well rotated. When I move to 8 inches, my hips square up. My hips will stay square for the next 7 or 8 inches. So your upper core player, we're going to use the yardstick in a moment, we'll see the same thing. But your upper core player is going to, here I am at 14, 15, 16 inches. So my range thus far is 8 to 16. I step to 17 and my hips rotate. Every one of your players, whether they're mid, upper, I'm going to show you the mid and lower now. And I'd like for you to go through this. So you can put tape on your fingers, or last time what we did was we had you apply pressure with your thumb to the upper core power spot. So you can do that as well. But for your students, you may want to get the sleeves, or they can just apply the pressure. So that's all I have is pressure on that upper core power spot. So as long as I stay within this 8 to 16 inch range, I'm good with a disrupted core. Now, just to give you an idea of use of the thumbs, I would use these with when you're teaching. They're available on Amazon. They're very cheap. They're sleeves. If you need a link to it, just let me know. But now I am at 8 inches, or I'm sorry, 10 inches. I'm at 8 inches. As soon as I apply pressure here at 8 inches, my hips just squared up. So just by applying pressure, and I'm going to go, we covered this the last time I know, but one of the things I suggested was you're going to find 8 to 16 is going to be for your players. No, you may find 7 to 14. I've seen I've not seen anything wider than 16 or less than 7. So you're going to be within that range, plus or minus 1 inch. So here I am again, no pressure, going to 12, apply pressure, and my hip square up. I'm going to go now, the black, first, my knuckle, first knuckle up, first crease up. I'm going to go to, we know 16 was my last upper core stance width, so I'm going to go to 16 inches, no pressure, apply pressure there. So my first point for mid-core is 16 inches. My next, so I'm going to test, this is going to be always going to be a 7 to 8 inch range where the hips will be squared. Not experienced anything else here. Okay. I'm at 23. I'm at 24. I go to 25, my hips rotate. So for me, 16 to 24, but consider that plus or minus 1 inch. Plus or minus 1 inch. We have a mini tour player in Mexico who was mid-core, and he's playing at 16 to 23, I believe. And maybe it might be 15 to 23. But the point is, everybody's going to be different. There are some of you online now, I'm sure we've communicated. They're the same. George is the same as mine. Kevin is the same as mine, but everybody else is a little different. So don't plan on 8 to 16, 16 to 24. But you do want to figure it out. Now, I'm going to go to low core, which is the blue. Second pad up on my middle finger. And I'm going to go out to 19 inches. Hips rotate. I apply pressure to that second pad. And nothing. I go to 20 and my hips square. So it's going to be 20 plus or minus 1 as you do this. And I know mine's going to go out to, that's 27. So 28 is my wide base. And we know the upper core player, well, the lower core player has a very wide base. Has to do with sequencing of motion. The lower core player starts the swing back with their shoulders. Upper core player starts with the hips. And the mid core player starts everything together. So within these ranges, that sequencing is relatively simple. So I'm going to take now, once you take your paint stick, I'll tell you what, I'm going to use the card just because I think you'll be able to see this better and understand what we're doing now. I started to say, we've all in a lesson heard that you want to get that heel pad on top. And I've heard it, I've taught it, but nobody ever said how much heel pad. And with what Harvey has done, Harvey Pinnock has done, he's given us the opportunity here to determine how much heel pad. And what you'll find as we look at heel pad, that first of all, I'm going to put the paint stick across that red line, that first pad up, okay? It's going to go at an angle, and I'm going to get my heel pad on top. So that's what it looks like here. Okay, you do want to, when you work on your grip, you want to be in your stance with range. So we're going to go to the go to 12 inches. With this, you'll be within your range, your upper core range. And now what I want is a flat left wrist when I cock my wrist, okay? And when I cock my wrist, I should just see, if you're using the paint stick, you should see nothing but the top edge that you've marked with a Sharpie. And if you take a watch my card, that is my heel pad position right here, okay? But I have seen players up in the, we're going to go up in the palm in a moment, but I'm going to go just a quarter of an inch lower, and look what happened to my, I still have that flat left wrist, but I'm not even, I have a shut face. Just getting too deep in the palm. Let's go too high in the palm. And now my face wants to open. I'm seeing much more this side. So whichever side of the paint stick you're seeing the back side, that face is shutting, you're seeing the front side, it's opening. So let's find, so I want you to play with that for a moment. First thing is getting a flat lead wrist. That flat lead wrist is critical. And now we can take, once you find that, I would use a Sharpie for the golf glove of your student. And you're going to mark, just take, I'm going to use a ballpoint pen here. And mark where my, that's how much heel pad I should be on top. So where does the grip go? The grip goes, as I line this up, grip goes right on that very top edge, but not all the way on top. And for me, as an upper core player here, that's a very weak left hand, which is what I'm looking for, which is what creates that power spot, or what that power spot creates, I should say. So we're going to work here. So play around with that heel pad for just a minute. Again, I'm going to put that crease. So when your student has this, when they leave, you know grip is the most difficult change for any player to make. Whether it's a lead hand, we'll get to the trail hand here after a bit, but the lead hand, always want to have them practicing. Why do we want them practicing in their zone? Now remember, my upper core stance as an upper core player is 8 to 16 inches. I'm on 12. I'm going to step, watch this club face here, or the card. I'm going to step down to 7, and I'm seeing the back side of the card right now. I'll go back into my zone, and my hand, you can see a very subtle rotation. You're not going to see that with a club in your hand. Even if you have the clip on, you're not going to see that. So we want a flat left wrist. I step to 7, and then I get rotation. Now I'm going to go out. Okay, I'm at 13. Everything came back. 15. 17, and that club just opened. That club face just opened. I still have that flat left wrist, but when I cock my wrist up, I see this side of the paint stick. So providing a paint stick, giving your student, rather than when they go home, and you're, well, we need to see 2 knuckles, 3, whatever you're working on. We're not working on knuckles anymore. We're working on a stance with range and a neutral lead hand. And this gives them something to work on at home. Once we add the trail hand here, you'll see in a little bit. Once we add that trail hand, it's golden. It becomes something they can work on and then make a slow transition in the full swing. And these cheap, works great, and Harvey was absolutely brilliant. He didn't go into how to grip, he did. He spent 2 days, by the way, working on nothing but grip with Kathy Whitworth. And I'm presuming he used a yardstick as he did. So, all right. That's the lead hand.